iSamfix Computer Solutions. Yeah, today we're having a motherboard. It's an 840G3. This one is not dead. Only the customer is telling me that the motherboard is not charging, and so this is what we'll be looking at today. So let me insert the charger so that you can see it's working. Yeah, so that you can prove my point that the motherboard is not dead, it's working. For an 840G3, 0.39 amperes, that's a motherboard that is already on. And let me take some voltages here to see whether the voltage is okay on the battery connector. Yeah, I'm not happy with that voltage, and we will be checking more of it. Okay. Yeah, voltages here are missing because getting 0.29 here, this is the plus. It's not good, eh? So let me insert the battery so that you can see what is happening here. Having the battery, let's wait till the battery is going to go on. You can see it's on. Now if I insert the charger, look at my power supply. I'm getting a short circuit. See the short circuit? So this is when the battery is installed, and also insert the charger. We are getting a short, but without the charger, you can see the motherboard is turning on without a short. Yeah, sorry if you are getting some noise around me here. My shop is in a very busy place. Yeah, and sometimes it's not possible to control everyone around you. And I wish I had a better place to record, but remember, I still need the busy street for my business. Yeah, so sorry if you are getting background noises. Yeah, so I'm going to disconnect this part. As you can see, the MOSFET is shorted here. They have removed the MOSFET and jumped using a solder iron. And the tracks are kind of missing, or maybe the coat has been removed. And let me try to wick off some of the extra solder on this place here where the MOSFET is supposed to be. Yeah, so that is fine. Yeah, the first two power lines are shorted together because the trackpads have been exposed, but that is not something to worry about because they should be two either way. Other than the gate, the rest of the three are connected together, so that is not a big problem. Yeah, so let me you see this place here? Yeah, because the pads have been exposed. The blue color there is a protecting layer that protect each and every trackpad and only expose the part that is relevant for voltage or passing of current. But now this motherboard I'm learning right now is from another computer shop, or maybe somebody else repaired this motherboard. That's what I mean when I say it's from another computer shop. There must be another technician who tried to work on this motherboard because parts cannot rip themselves off. So somebody had tried to work on it, and maybe things didn't turn out as expected. Yeah, all those are connected together, but you see the gate and the three If there's no beep, that is fine. So that is okay. So let's go to the other chip here. I noticed here also there's a bit of a mayhem. It's a quite problematic. I think the guy who was working on this motherboard fought with this chip. Big fight, and maybe the chip won. And that's when he said, I can't do this anymore. You need to take this somewhere else. And see, as I've always said, working on a motherboard that has been worked on by another technician has never been easy. Because if he happened not to do a very good job, remember, you are the one to suffer. I can see two missing track pads, power lines. I don't know whether you can see them. And now this explains to me, or gives me a better understanding as to why this laptop is not charging. Now we know why the laptop is not charging, because remember the conditions for this back circuit does not apply. Where we have the MOSFET, the coil, the two switches, the MOSFETs, those are the switches, the coil, and the chip. They cannot meet the required voltage standard because of the missing pad, the shorting of the MOSFET, and so the battery cannot charge. Other than charging, remember, after connecting the charger and the battery, we are getting a short circuit. We were getting a short circuit, you saw on the previous part of the video. And now let's try to see what we can do here. I wish you knew how small these parts are. The track pads are very tiny. Don't be lied by the microscope. It's just a zoom out of the same. But in real life, these track pads are very, very, very tiny. Now we have to loop these areas. And we have to make sure that each and every ripped off trackpad is going to where it's expected, and that using a multimeter in continuity mode. Yeah, this one I can tell is coming here. My multimeter can tell me. Yeah, you have to keep checking that. Yeah, and also on this other part, this one is coming here. Yeah, so as we loop, now we know where each and every voltage is moving. Okay. Yeah, this is not going to be very easy, but we don't have a choice. If we want to repair this motherboard, we have to make sure all voltages are flowing from where they are, from their respective places, going to the necessary chips. Yeah, so that's a masking glue. Let me put some UV light there. UV light is the cure for masking glue. Yeah, that will help us to contain the wire in one place. Even when we come with a hot solder iron or a hot air station, the wire will remain in the same position. So let's wait for the glue to cure. And now you can see, now this is the part where we have covered using a masking tape. I have to do a little bit of scratching to try and expose the part that I want to put the solder, because the chip is going to come on top of these track pads here, so that voltage and current can flow to the necessary direction. So we expose a little bit of the masking glue. Yeah, usually it's tough and very, very hard after the UV light, because it's already been cured. So where is this? Here it is, the other wire. Yeah, we have to cut it. Let's cut it there with a sharp blade. Okay. Let me pick it using a tweezer. And now I try to position it there in a proper manner, so that it's in precision, it's in its precise position for the chip to land there. You can use a tweezer to do what I'm doing here. Yeah, remember I told you these are very tiny track pads. They're very tiny. Yeah, not yet there, but I'm trying my best. It should be there in a few. It will be there in a few. Just need to push this a little bit on this end. Little bit of force to keep this one straight. Yeah, looks like that's a perfect position. Maybe let me perfect it a little bit. Yeah, that is fine. Now we need to do the solder part of it, because that wire should also touch the solder, so that the chip can land very well and obtain a very good contact with that wire. So flux, very important. The flux is also the cure for the solder. It makes the solder flow very well. The flux is very, very, very okay. So where is my solder wire? Yeah, let's come with a fresh solder and build the track pads. Gently, just be gentle. There's no need to force issues. Slowly. Yeah, the wire also need to have some solder on it to obtain a good connection with the chip. Okay. Yeah, also this other area here. Yeah, after this we do the chip. The chip also need to be well prepared for this, for the contact with the wire. So we also need to work on it. Yeah, this is the chip. If you have shaky hands, I doubt that this job would be a good choice of a job. If you have shaky hands, maybe they say if you have taken too much alcohol, the level of being addicted, I think this can be a bit tough. But I think even those people with alcohol problem in shaking because of alcohol. They always take another shot and maybe they stabilize back again. Huh? I see that's what they do. I don't know how alcohol cures the shaky hand. And that is a part of addiction. I always advise somebody to keep off. Too much of everything is poisonous. Even honey, it's very sweet and very healthy. But if you take a whole bucket of honey, I assure you, you will go to hospital to try and do something on your body. So too much of everything is not good. So let's prepare the chip. The chip here is going to be prepared by iSamfix himself. And the chip looks like it's ready. It looks nice to me. Maybe a final touch. Yeah, trying to clean the chip. Very important. So let's try to solder the chip back to its place. Usually this is not an easy job. One thing you have to practice is patience. Remember, you are working on a very tiny place. The track pads are too close to one another, to each other. The space, the working space is very tiny. But remember, you must be in a position to do it for you to repair that motherboard. So slowly, patient, and being precise and accurate to the best of your knowledge. Okay. Try to make sure the chip is sitting in its position the right way, because if you place it in opposite directions, it's going to cause problems. So let me compare with another motherboard here to see the way I'm supposed to place that chip. I have a board that has already has that chip placed. Why I'm doing this is because you can remember the part is ripped off where we see the pin number 1. This part has been ripped off. So let me use another motherboard to see how the chip is supposed to sit. This chip here, let me see. Okay. Yeah, that is the place. So now I have an idea. Yeah, so this is a way. This is how the chip is supposed to sit in its place. So this is fine. This is okay. Yeah, in this direction. Let me go see once more. Yeah, that's fine now. Now I'm sure. Now this is not an idea I'm having. Now this is a sure bet that that chip is supposed to be like this. Yeah, so let's solder this now. I think that is fine. I can grab the whole here. Flux first. Don't run away. Yeah, remember these are usually very tough jobs. Yeah, this is not an easy job at all. It's going to take your time. It's going to test your patience. It's going to test your limits. All you do is to keep going. Don't give up. Yeah, the chip is in its position. I have some solder blobs that I need to take care of. So to avoid short circuits or frying up the chip. You insert a charger with a chip like this and it's dead. So let's use a hot air gun or solder gun, not hot air gun, the solder gun to remove the extra blob. Yeah. Now I can see each and every power line or each and every power trackpad independently, and that's how it's supposed to be. Let's put some isopropyl alcohol to see that or to clean the chip. So remember, the MOSFET is still open, and we need also to replace this MOSFET because this motherboard never came with this MOSFET. The previous technician jumped the MOSFET. So let's try to take this back and borrow it from a donor board. And I tend to think why the technician removed that MOSFET is because it was not passing power. And passing power, it was not possible because of the gate condition. The MOSFET was not meeting the back circuit condition for it to pass power from one end of the other. Remember their protection circuit. Every time a MOSFET senses that the motherboard is just about to get shorted, it's going to cut out the power. And the only way that MOSFET can pass power from the one end to the other is for you to rectify the circuit, the back circuit for the charging. And the MOSFET will continue passing power as usual, or the normal way it's supposed to. But that can only happen after you correct the circuit. So MOSFET is there. The two pin touching each other, don't worry about them. Those are supposed to be together. 3 pins together and 1 separate, being the gate. So some isopropyl alcohol. Try to clean that area. Yeah. So let me try to take some readings. One of my camera has frozen. Let me bring it back to life. Good. Now it's recording. It was frozen. You can see now the MOSFET is giving us a reading. There's a reading there, which is very good. MOSFET is not shorted. Yeah, it's also giving us a reading. That's nice. Let's try to take some voltages also on this other end here. Make sure there's no short circuit or short to ground. It's good. That's nice. Yeah, try to see whether the pin that I've just looped, I'll take in power where they're supposed to. So this one is coming here. And yeah, this one is also going there. So yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, so now let's test now. Yeah, but before I test, did I check the gate condition? Did I remember to check the gate condition? Because I need to know whether the gate is higher than the drain to see whether the buck booster circuit is working fine. So let's confirm that one once more time. One more time. Yeah, multimeter to voltage right now is in continuity. Let's try to confirm if the MOSFET is giving us a higher gate. And remember, the first MOSFET that was removed was not passing the current because the gate was lower than the drain. And the gate should always be higher. So let's confirm this using a multimeter. Let me focus more. Yeah, 18.7. Let's see the gate. Okay, yeah, the gate must be higher because let me set the voltage to 200. Yeah, the gate is 24.5, so the gate is higher and that's fine. So now we can test the motherboard. Let's see. Remember, before we were connecting the charger and the battery, we could get a short circuit. So the amperes are supposed to go up. And now we are not getting the short. Check there, up. Now we can have the charger and the battery and we don't have a short circuit. Now we need to see whether the amperes will go up, and if they do, we know that the battery is charging fine. It should be 1 amp or 1.5 or 2 amps. Wow, I don't know. Let's give it time. The chips must communicate, and sometimes they don't do that very quickly. It's a negotiations process. Yeah, it's going up, and now you can see now the battery is fine. That battery is charging fine. That is a good battery. That is a good back circuit for battery charging. And so that's it. That's it. We have achieved this one. That's a very good thing. Yeah, keep liking, sharing, subscribing. That's the only way you can support the channel. Subscribe. 1.6, 1.6, fine.